So I finally read The Last Final Girl by Stephen Graham Jones, and goodness gracious, I was in the mood. So I was gonna read this book along with other, thrillers, horror, mysteries, all focused on final girls. That fell through because that's just what happens sometimes. Mainly because I am such a mood reader that trying to plan ahead what I want to read is a bit of a challenge. But I picked this up the other day, and goodness, this was a lot of fun. I feel like originally I was a little bit put off by the fact that it's written like you're reading a movie. You're reading like when you watch a movie, it's like, here's a scene, this is where the camera moves, here's the music, all that. And I can definitely understand that it can be off-putting. It's not like reading a play. It's literally reading a troperific, cringy, self-aware, but still horrifying horror movie. My goodness, there were parts that I was just like, whew. But yeah, it's all about final girls. Although to be fair, when you read the blurb on the back, it only mentions the survivor, the final girl of a recent, like we're talking like 2 weeks ago, horrifying event that took place at, I think it was a camp, where she was the last one standing of her group of friends. This is her name. Her name's Lindsay. So the blurb on the back, it only speaks about her. She's not the character that we're following, however. It's Izzy, who is very aware that she and others as well, honestly, to be fair, she is extremely aware that she exists in a horror movie and that the only way to survive is by doing this, this, and this. It really reminds me of I have a book somewhere that's called How to Survive a Horror Movie, and I feel like Izzy read that book. So there's a lot of kind of commentary on situational awareness of what it would actually be like to be a character in a horror movie. They are aware of the things and how to hopefully get around it. Also, the killer in this story is called Billie Jean. And there's a lot of Michael Jackson references, and to say that I've had that song stuck in my head ever since I read this book, I'm sending my therapy bill to Stephen Graham Jones. I really, really liked reading this book. Also, I really liked certain characters, and what happens, it breaks my heart. Like, I know this is a horror movie. It's a horror book. I know things are gonna be horrifying, but what I really like about this book also is the relationship between the main character Izzy and her brother. Like, he just keeps stepping up for her. I like the fact that there are certain characters that we all agree that we don't like, and also, okay, so the text of the book does say, yes, we do not like this character, or we want the best for this character. And it is leading, but it is such an awareness of like how movies affect us, like with the music and how a scene is set up, how it's filmed, how it's the entire setup of a scene, which tells us whether or not we like a character. And this book absolutely references that, and I love it. And the tropes. Reading this book and being an avid TV tropes fan and connoisseur is like, I know that trope. Ooh, that one. It was so much fun. This book was exactly what I needed right at this time. Although, again, I can really understand why some people would not like it, because I mean, the format is, it honestly took me 2 tries to get into. So from that perspective, I can understand it. If you don't like the tropes, that's another reason why you might not like this. But really, the twists are fun. Yeah, this book has quite a few twists, and they are fun twists. And also there's a leading joke about burritos, and the stinger at the end involves burritos, and I'm like, this book was fun. But I also read the novella by Stephen Graham Jones. Now, Last Final Girl came out in 2012. I really thought it was younger. But he also wrote this novella, Night of the Mannequins. And this one came out in 2020. Last Final Girl was way easier to come across and to get. Now, mind you, bear in mind, I live in Iceland, so every single book that I am interested in, I have to be able to find a seller. A seller. Please pardon my pronunciation. Apparently, I cannot pronounce that the proper way. A bookseller who can ship to Iceland. This one, no problem. At least not that I can recall. This one took me a little search. Like, it was a bit of a, more work on my behalf, basically. This one was easier and it's older. This one was more difficult and it's younger. But anyway, about the book. Now, it's a novella. It really did not take a long time to read. And looking on Goodreads, it was either like 1 star or 4 stars. I don't recall. Well, there were 5 stars, but honestly, I think personally for me it's a 4 star, and I really have to agree with the 1 stars. Usually when I go looking on Goodreads or like any reviews, I love to look at the 1 stars because 1 stars tend to be more honest, and I have to agree. This book is not quite what it says on the cover. Although when you stop and think about it and give it a little time to digest, it kind of is, but it really isn't. And again, this is such a short book. It's about 130 pages, so I can't really talk about the things that I want to talk about in order to explain. So I'm going to say this. What I expected was something more like a literal Night of Mannequins, plural, like literally mannequins, going and do their horrifying, terrifying thing. Like, I was expecting people to go into like an abandoned shopping mall or something and something spooky going on there. No. There is a mannequin from the get-go, and the ending alludes to something connected to it. I can't talk about the things that I want to talk about because that's spoilers. I would say that this story is an experience. I think I'm safe to say that how certain people experience the world around them influences how they react. Did that make sense? That's deep. That's really deep. How some people view the world influences how they react. Of course it does. That's what we all do. That didn't. Well, there's a certain event that kicks off everything, and it pushes certain something into reacting to something that might or might not be. This little thing really doesn't have any other purpose than for me to talk about me reading these books, so you're welcome. Both of them are 4 stars for me. And I have to say, this one was way more like tropes. This one was more of an exploration into... Well, I can't say it because if I do so, that spoils the potential of the story. So yes, that was me rambling about books that I just read. So thank you very much for watching if you did. And yeah, hopefully see you again in some other video of mine. And then take care. Bless, bless.